Zambia versus Zimbabwe. When you hear a country referred to as the undiscovered gem of Africa, you immediately think of safari expeditions and pure down-to-earth cultures. This is an undisputed depiction of Zambia. Zambia is a vast southern African country which offers huge diversity, an exploration of a land filled with waterfalls, lakes, rivers, and wetlands, and a discovery of its proud culture and traditions, abundant wildlife and exotic wilderness. Being a landlocked country, it's surrounded by rugged terrain and diverse wildlife with many parks and safari areas. On its border with Zimbabwe is famed Victoria Falls, indigenously called the Smoke That Thunders. Zimbabwe might just be that cousin to Zambia that shares similar traits but has its own praiseworthy attributes. It is also a landlocked country in southern Africa, known for its dramatic landscape and diverse wildlife, much of it within parks, reserves, and safari areas. Zimbabwe is a country of superlatives, thanks to Victoria Falls, which is the largest waterfall in the world, and Lake Kariba. In view of their attributes, economy and touristic appeal, these nations have shown to be worth bringing to parity and contest. In this video, we are putting these two southern African countries to a duel as we reveal which country is bigger in size, better in geography, economy, infrastructure, and quality of life. It's Zambia versus Zimbabwe showdown time. Let's take a look at their geographic stats. The larger a country, the more accommodation it can provide for citizens, as well as the more it can afford to host flora and fauna, which makes a good biosphere. To begin with, Zambia is much larger in total surface area than Zimbabwe. Putting figures to light, Zambia has a total surface area of 752,618 square kilometers, while Zimbabwe has a total surface area of 390,757 square kilometers. Having such a vast expanse of land, 66.3% of Zambia's total land mass is occupied by forest, while 39.5% of Zimbabwe's total land mass is made of forest. African countries are definitely known for their agricultural prowess, and when it comes to agricultural land, Zambia makes use of 31.7% of its land surface for agriculture, while Zimbabwe uses 42.5% of its land to dedicate for agriculture. Considering demographics, according to the 2019 revision of the World Population Prospects, the total population of Zambia was over 17 million in 2018 compared to only 2,340,000 in 1950. The proportion of children below the age of 15 in 2010 was 46.4%, 50.6% was between 15 and 65 years of age, while 3.1% was 65 years or older. The population of Zimbabwe has grown during the 20th century in accordance with the model of a developing country with high birth rates and falling death rates, resulting in relatively high population growth rates. Based on the 2019 revision of the World Population Prospects, the population of Zimbabwe was estimated by the United Nations at close to 15 million in 2018. About 38.9% comprised of youths under 15, while another 56.9% grouped persons aged between 15 and 65 years. Only around 4.2% of citizens were apparently over 65. The population density of any given country is an index evaluating how packed or spread a population is over a given geographical area. Standardly, countries with high population densities can be considered overpopulated, which may be disturbing in a situation of infrastructural underdevelopment and bad economy, as poverty and crime would be soaring over the population. In view of this, Zambia has a population density of 22 people per square kilometer, while Zimbabwe has a population density of 39 people per square kilometer. This population tends to grow over time as with other countries. Zambia has a greater population than Zimbabwe, and this is evident by its increasing growth rate of 2.91%, while Zimbabwe has a growth rate of 1.68%. Nevertheless, Zambia has a lower life expectancy of just 53 years than Zimbabwe, with that of 61.1 years. Economy. The economy of any country represents a large set of interrelated production and consumption activities that aid in determining how scarce resources are allocated. As such, the production and consumption of goods and services in any economy are used to fulfill the needs of those living and operating within it. If a country has higher GDP over another, with other parameters, physical and climatic, being at par, that would imply that such a country is producing more goods and services, and therefore consumers can enjoy more goods and services in that region. Zambia has a GDP of $68.93 billion, while Zimbabwe has a GDP of $41.03 billion. Both these countries have considerable public debts. What is known as public debt or national debt refers to the sum of all government borrowings owed to lenders within the country. Zambia thus has a public debt of over 63% of its gross domestic product. Meanwhile, of Zimbabwe's GDP, 82.3% consists of public debt. The economy also is influenced by the unemployment rate of each country. Low unemployment rates indicate more suitable career options and economic growth as opposed to high unemployment economies. Zambia has an unemployment rate of 15%, while Zimbabwe has an unemployment rate of 11.3%. Zambia spends 4.5% of its GDP on its education system annually, while Zimbabwe spends up to 7.5% of her GDP on education. Inflation rates are also determining the trend in the economy. It depicts the annual price increase for goods and services, indicating a decrease in the purchasing power of a country's currency. In Zambia, for example, inflation rates stand at 6.6% annually, while in Zimbabwe, the same rate of inflation goes as low as 0.9%. Infrastructure. The infrastructure represents the physical and digital systems on which a country thrives. Road infrastructure, for example, are very important for ensuring the smooth running of a country's economy and living standards. The total length of a country's paved and unpaved roads reveal her roadway infrastructure. In Zimbabwe, there is an extensive and well-developed roadway system, but it is only so in the urban areas. They have a total paved and unpaved road system of 67,671 kilometers, while Zimbabwe has a roadway infrastructure of 97,267 kilometers. In Zambia, just 33% compared to Zimbabwe's 34% population in the urban and rural areas benefit from electrification, meaning the majority of the citizens use secondary and tertiary sources of electricity. The railway network of these countries are quite at parity. Zambia has a 3,126 km railway network, while Zimbabwe has a 3,427 km railway network. Another major factor of infrastructure in any given country are the number of airports it has. The airports are major transportation hubs which can boost tourism, national and international trade, and bring in revenue to the country's GDP. Zambia has over 88 airports, while Zimbabwe has more airports, 196 airports precisely. It goes without saying that digitization is a cornerstone for modernization. The number of citizens in a country having direct or indirect access to the internet indicates how well developed the internet infrastructure of that country is. While 25.5% of Zambia's population have access to high-speed internet services, and just 23.1% of Zimbabwe's population benefit from internet services in the country. Standard of living. The degree of wealth and material comfort available to a person or community, as well as the quality and quantity of material goods and services available to a given population within a confined territory is generally regarded as a standard of living. Developed countries are enjoying a well-structured economy, infrastructure, health, care, and education system, and this will naturally tend to have a higher standard of living as compared to underdeveloped or developing countries. When looking at the standard of living, factors like healthcare access, poverty rates, clean water sources, and education availability are some of the considerations made. Considering the poverty rate in Zambia, 54.5% of the population live below the poverty line, while over 72.3% of the population of Zimbabwe live below the poverty line. Both Zambia and Zimbabwe have a poor public healthcare system, as majority of the population struggle to get good quality healthcare and often have to fly out of the country for specialist healthcare services. Zambia has just averagely 2 available hospitals per 1,000 inhabitants, and Zimbabwe has less, with 1.7 hospital beds available per 1,000 inhabitants. Clean and potable water, as with many African countries, is quite not accessible to this population, either due to scarcity or poor water treatment infrastructure. In Zambia, only 65.4% of the population have access to potable drinking water, whereas in Zimbabwe, the available population exposed to clean and potable drinking water is 76.9%. In conclusion, Zambia and Zimbabwe are 2 great African countries. In fact, other Southern African countries pale in comparison to these 2. Although we've put both nations to the door, it is highly subjective to decide which is better to live in or visit on vacation. The statistics, however, reveal their individual strengths and weaknesses. In the end, it's up to you to decide which country you deem more praiseworthy, perhaps on your next vacation. Thanks for watching, and please hit that like button and also subscribe in order not to miss out on our future uploads. So go on, subscribe, 10 years of good luck await.